Hey folks, Matt Wilson with BTB Security, back for another week of BTB Reacts. This week was, I don't know, it felt like the week of ransomware. I know ransomware happens all the time. We've been seeing it for the better part of a decade plus probably at this point. So that's not really the new news, but it felt like there was a flurry of stories. So I'm going to call this a ransomware roundup. Oh yes, we will be coining new terms. So maybe I'm not the first person to use that. I have no idea. But let's switch over to look at a couple of things that have occurred. This one actually goes back a couple of weeks in fairness, but as I was kind of poking around, because I heard the Acer news, I remember seeing some financial firm, I remember seeing something about a technology firm. So I just kind of poked around. I'm like, is this, I mean, every single day there's somebody somewhere getting hit by ransomware, but this felt a little bit different. Just felt like a flurry of activity. And this is somewhat linked to a report that we'll be putting out here in another week or so that's related. It's actually a review of the Palo Alto ransomware report. So look out for that, and we'll probably do a video on that when that hits. So look, back on March 11th, Molson Coors, maker of many beers, not just Coors, they had a cybersecurity incident that they reported to the Security Exchange Commission because clearly it was material enough to be worthy to report, had a financial impact on the organization. Here, typical story, they enroll IT forensic firms. I'm sure there were statements made. Company is working around the clock to get its systems back. Great, standard, fair. I'm not knocking Molson Coors, I'm just saying there seems to be a script that everyone follows once any kind of security event happens. And then this is the one that kind of caught my attention earlier this week proper. Energy giant Shell discloses data breach after Accellion hack. Now, if you remember, a couple of weeks back, we talked about the Accellion software, their file transfer software, and I'm amazed. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be because I've been around a little bit, but I'm amazed at how prevalent this software was. I mean, I think I'd heard the name before, but I did not realize that so many organizations, decent sized organizations, had some truly dated, obsolete software in their environment. Again, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but here you go. So Shell, or Royal Dutch Shell, as they're properly called, had some kind of breach that involved the secure file transfer. And they're claiming it didn't attack their network. And I get that this isn't, I guess, technically ransomware, but it just kind of piqued my interest. And then this is, the reason I bring this in is because of this, is it's not reported to be ransomware at this point, and this is absolutely conjecture. But folks have, like they have with the SolarWinds issue, like they have with the Exchange issue, the hacker gangs, whatever you want to call them, those with bad intent, they are absolutely focusing on Accellion and folks using Accellion software, and they are getting themselves in and causing harm. And we're now seeing the rise of what you'll hear termed double extortion, where they are extorting you to pay a ransom to unencrypt your files. And by the way, I'm not saying this is exactly what happened here. Again, not much known, but you're not only having to pay for the ransomware if you choose to, but if you choose not to pay to unencrypt your files or decrypt your files, they will threaten to put your data out on the public internet and make it available and resell it, and try to entice you to pay that way. So the hip new term there is double extortion, but it doesn't stop there. CNA, insurance giant CNA, knocked offline is the headline here. CNA Financial, I'm sure many people know who they are. Global organization. Here again, it's rumored to involve ransomware, but it's not a great look when your primary website says, shoulder shrug, something's going on, and we've been impacted. And it looks like it has crippled their business. And I still scratch my head as a security professional, how folks still get that crippled. And I guess maybe it's a bit unfair of me to think that. I'm not saying this stuff is easy, but I am saying that, fundamental protections that many organizations should have would go a long way. But again, it continues. They attack our beer, they attack our money, they attack our gas and oil. Ransomware impacts IoT giant Sierra Wireless, Canadian firm. You probably know their name for making a bunch of chips and other kind of devices that are a part of other devices, but it's not necessarily a household name like an IBM, but they are a major technology company, a global technology company. So here we go. They got hit less than a week ago, and it's something that has crippled their business now as well. At least their primary website was down as of the publishing of this article on, what day was this? March 24th, so yesterday. So I remember seeing that headline yesterday, and it continues. Unfortunately, I hate to laugh. I don't mean to laugh. It's just the absurdity is what the comment here is. So earlier this week, ransomware extortion. Here's that double extortion. And unfortunately, they ended up going through with it. As I'll jump around a moment here, and I'll link to all these articles for those that want to read a bit more. And I know it's a bit of a flurry walking through this, but again, it just struck me how much ransomware has been in the news of late. That's not new. It certainly happened before, but just strange. All of a sudden, it just felt to me like there was quite a bit more going on than normal. I wanted to kind of highlight a couple of these stories, and I'll jump around to this one where the local Denver affiliate of CBS says that this ransomware group went forward with their threat, and they actually leaked all the information, unfortunately, from Colorado University. And again, Acer, that probably would be a household name for most of us technology folks. They got hit with REvil ransomware, and they made the highest ransomware demand in history. That's a bit of a, clickbait to me, but I'm sure someone has asked for more in the past. But here we are at the 50 million mark for Acer. So again, not a small company, technology-focused company. So what's the lesson here? Again, link to all these articles if you're actually interested. The lesson is ransomware is here and growing. We thought we saw a spike a bit in 2020. And there's some numbers, some real numbers, as you'll see when we release our kind of summary of the Palo Alto report. But there's some validity to that. 2020 was kind of a banner year, unfortunately, for ransomware and ransomware gangs, or whatever you want to call them. But the way forward is to patch, harden, back up, have recovery processes that are tested, and do security monitoring. These are not the fun, cool, flashy elements of information security, but if you paid attention to any of our videos throughout pretty much the entire time we've done any video, that has been one of the key takeaways. One of the focal points is the blocking and tackling of information security continues to be exceedingly relevant to maintaining a strong security posture. You can do all the cool, fun, next-gen-y stuff if you got the budget and the time and the capability. I'd encourage you to do that. But if you don't, make sure you're patching, hardening, you know who your third parties are, you know where your data is, you're doing backup and recovery in a good way and testing it, and you have a way to detect and respond to security incidents. There's no cure-all. There's no magic widget solution for this. So that's all I wanted to get to today. Hopefully that was helpful. Really just wanted to do a bit of a ransomware roundup, as I mentioned, because it was just kind of left me scratching my head after thinking about all the ransomware stories this week. So have a good rest of the week, everyone. Take care. Please like, subscribe, follow us on all the social accounts. We'd really appreciate it. Be well.